watching the Flying Monkey Podcast. You're listening to The Deep Dive with Cody and Skye on the Flying Monkey Podcast, TFMP Radio.
Okay, so today we're going deep on something.
Yeah.
That's really tough.
It is.
For a lot of people out there, parental alienation. And
Absolutely.
if you're listening, chances are you've at least heard of this, or maybe you're even dealing with this yourself.
Yeah.
And trying to figure out the family law system. And it's a lot.
Most
so
certainly.
we're gonna dive in
no.
with some source material here from an organization called Hope in Darkness.
Hope in Darkness, yeah.
And they have a platform called Parental Alienation Solutions.
Okay.
And it's pretty intense stuff.
Yeah, it is.
So
we'll see what they have to say here.
Okay.
And see if we can extract some insights for, the targeted parents that they're speaking to.
Exactly. Yeah, so we'll go through and see what they define as the problem here.
Right.
The solution, what kind of resources they offer, and
yeah,
get a better picture of how they view this whole situation.
Yeah, and it is a situation. I mean,
this is heavy stuff.
Yeah, so they they call it child abuse and domestic violence by proxy.
Right.
Which is a huge statement.
It is.
But it's very deliberate, and it's meant to kind of underscore the severity of the issue as they see it.
Right, and that the actions of the alienating parent are causing this proxy form of abuse through the child.
Exactly. Yeah, it's a way of harming the child by harming the relationship between the child and the other parent.
Yeah. And they don't really hold back when it comes to the family law system.
No, they don't.
I mean, they describe it as, quote, a quagmire of confusion, insouciance, and counterintuitive syndicate that enables the abuse.
Wow.
Now, so
yeah, I mean, that's a mouthful.
Yeah, it is.
But it speaks to, I think, their frustration with the whole system. They see it as this kind of
swamp.
Yeah, you can't get out of it.
Right.
And it's almost like, they use the word syndicate, which suggests some kind of malicious intent.
Right. That it's not just inept or incapable, but it's actually it's designed this way.
It's almost like it's purposely designed to waste time, and that in itself is another form of abuse.
Right, and cause harm and suffering to the child and the targeted parent.
Yes. Yeah. And it's interesting because they actually call for a paradigm shift in family law.
That's right.
Based on all of this.
It's not just like tweaking the existing system. They're like, scrap the whole thing.
Throw it out, start over.
Right. And they see it as that.
Absolutely.
Broken.
Yeah.
And that's why they're really focused on, helping the parent that's being alienated, because you feel like the system itself isn't going to do it.
Yeah, they're not looking for the system to fix this.
Right.
They're saying, targeted parents need to be empowered to deal with this themselves.
And to act and to take charge.
Exactly. Yeah. And they say that, their services are based on behavioral science and common sense. So they're trying to blend that scientific approach with something that's, practical and understandable.
Yeah. They talk about needing advocacy.
Yes.
A hand to hold, an ear to listen.
Emotional support is so important in this kind of situation, and I think they recognize that.
Yeah, and providing new tools.
Yes.
To empower that targeted parent to
tools and strategies
they can
actually use.
And they say time is the enemy, action is the pathway.
Oh, that's so powerful.
To recover your child.
Yeah, there's a sense of urgency there.
Yeah.
Like you can't just sit back.
Right.
Wait for the system to work.
Right. You have to.
You got to take action yourself.
Yeah, and they have a really compelling story from a parent named Patrick C.
Oh, yes, Patrick's story.
And he talks about being alienated from his 3 oldest children.
Oh, right.
After a 2013 divorce.
After the divorce, yeah.
And then in 2020, so years later.
Wow.
He faced a similar attempt to alienate him from his 2 youngest.
Oh, wow. So it happened again with a different set of kids. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
That's heartbreaking.
And he describes, the 2020 holidays.
Right.
Being blocked from seeing his youngest kids.
Oh, man. I can't even imagine.
Yeah, it's terrible. And he really thought he was going to lose them forever.
Oh, gosh. Yeah, that feeling of hopelessness must be just overwhelming.
But then he connected with Hope in Darkness.
Okay.
And started having these conversations to develop a strategy.
Okay.
And he had a mentor, Bill Dubree,
yeah.
who he credits with, helping him kind of find his power and
take those steps.
And he says that now he is seeing his 2 youngest children on a regular basis.
That's amazing. What a turnaround.
Yeah.
So there's hope.
There is hope.
Yeah.
And his big takeaway, he says, quote, that I have the power to knock down barriers and I can do it in a positive way.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's so empowering.
And it's about being,
yeah,
ethical and doing things the right way.
Yeah.
He talks about, contrasting that with dark people who like to scheme.
Right.
And he's like, I don't want to be like that.
Yeah.
I want to do this the right way.
It's about rising above that kind of negativity.
And so now we get into some of their criticisms
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
the existing, ways of handling this.
Right. Because they're definitely not fans of the status quo.
And they say, quote, the existing system proposes time and again the same failed strategies and expecting different results.
It's like the definition of insanity.
Right.
Doing the same thing over and over
Right.
and expecting a different outcome.
They call the system idiotic.
Yeah, they don't mince words.
Leads to unimaginably horrible casualties.
Yeah, this is where you really see their passion
Right.
and their anger coming through because they've seen the damage firsthand.
Yeah, and they say those casualties include catastrophic trauma, grief, and pathology.
Right, for both the kids and the targeted parents.
So this is long-term.
Long-term. Yeah, this is not something that just goes away.
Yeah, this is like lifelong damage.
Exactly.
And so their conclusion is pretty stark.
Yeah, what do they say?
Throw out the entire system before it destroys another generation of children and their targeted parents.
Wow. Strong words.
Strong words.
Yeah.
So they've got some opinions.
They do. They do.
And they want to see change.
Absolutely.
So what do they offer?
Okay, so they offer a few things. One is called the Hope and Darkness Parent Learning System.
Right.
And that's specifically designed to kind of give parents the tools and the knowledge they need to interact with the family court system.
Right. And they have these parent stories and professional interviews.
Oh, yeah.
Available through what they call Flying Monkey Podcasts.
Flying Monkey Podcasts.
And so it's about sharing those experiences. And
giving people a voice.
Right.
And letting them, share what they've been through.
Yeah. It's about that shared experience.
Yeah. And I think that's so valuable.
And they have a Learning Systems Academy.
Okay.
Where you can access,
more resources. Okay.
And they have these upcoming events.
Yeah.
In the week of March 17th to the 21st, 2025.
Okay.
And those include talk support and discussion groups, natural health advice.
Right.
Classic.
A lot of different options
for
people to get involved.
Yeah. And they specifically mentioned 2 podcasts.
Okay.
One is an interview with a Hope and Darkness parent.
Okay.
And the other one is titled Family Court Challenge from a Parent's View. What happens to the adult child who refused contact with her father?
Wow. So they're looking at the long-term effects of this.
Right. Click here to see this video.
Okay. Interesting.
So they've got videos as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
And their motto is quality of life is people striving to thrive.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
It's very positive.
Yeah.
It's about focusing on the good.
Yeah.
Even in the midst of all this.
Yeah. So to kind of sum up, our deep dive into Hope and Darkness's perspective.
Right.
They're saying that parental alienation is child abuse and domestic violence by proxy.
Right.
And that the family law system is enabling it.
Yeah. They see it as a form of abuse.
Yeah.
And the system is not helping.
Yep.
It's actually making things worse.
And they really believe that the standard approaches are ineffective and harmful.
Right. They want to see a complete overhaul of the system.
And they really want to give those targeted parents the strategies, support the tools to take charge.
And to take action.
To be proactive. Yes, be proactive.
And they offer all these resources to help them do that.
They're not just complaining.
Right.
They're offering solutions, which is great.
So for you listening, if you're dealing with this or you know someone who is,
right.
I mean, it really begs the question, how effective do you think the current family law systems really are?
That's the question, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, are they really protecting the best interests of the children and the parents?
And maybe what we've heard today will, kind of get you thinking about, are there new solutions?
Right.
Are there ways to really, reevaluate how we're approaching this?
Absolutely.
Because it's so complex and it's so emotionally charged.
Yes.
And there's so much at stake.
So much at stake. These are families we're talking about.
Right.
It's people's lives. And, the impact is huge.
It's huge.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think Hope in Darkness is definitely, shining a light. Yeah.
On a very important issue.
Yeah.
And whether you agree with everything they say or not,
right.
It's a conversation that needs to be had.
It does.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
Yeah, this was a tough one.
It was, but important.
But important.
Yeah.
So.
Until next time.
Until next time.
Have you been victimized by family court? Are you suffering parental alienation? It's child abuse and it's domestic violence by proxy. Are you stuck drowning in legal and mental health bills? Get off the treadmill, escape the trap. With over 10 years of research, thousands of parent interviews and case studies worldwide, we have developed a system that works to help you get your kids back. Join the movement now. Hopeindarkness.info, stoptheabuse.info, alienationacademy.com, and theflyingmonkeypodcast.com. It's time for change, and it's time to stop the abuse. Go to tinyurl.com/stop-parental-alienation.
Thanks for watching the Flying Monkey Podcast. Like, follow, and subscribe to our social media sites on Facebook, X, YouTube, Rumble, TikTok, and Truth Social. You can also go straight to our webpage at www.flyingmonkeypodcast.com.